Let's see who's actually awake right now. I'll be very shocked to see who's awake, who's grinding on a Saturday, early morning, who's still recovering from New Year's. Let's see it. You guys are probably getting the notifications. All right, let's go. Questions arise. All right, let me throw on the chat. Live chat. There we go. All right, wake up. Let's do this. I'm going to go on for a little bit, guys. I just finished shooting some coaching videos here in my garage because I'm going to be traveling. AMS Moments. Why so late? Yeah, I've been shooting coaching videos here in my garage. I'm working on some stuff and was packing tonight for my trip going to Vegas next week. So I'll be gone for a month. So I'm just trying to get some stuff done here in the garage. And yeah, I was shooting coaching videos all night. So my voice is a little wired and a little gone, but it's a little cold in here too. I should have brought the heater in. So I'm going to stay on here just a little bit. Just to let you guys know that I do live stream on this channel as well. I just did one on my 33 Secrets channel. Just dropped a new trailer too today for the 33 Secrets. So if you guys have not watched that, make sure you watch it after this live stream. It's pretty good. And got a lot of positive comments from it. So yeah, we're rocking it. We are rocking it. Got the DeLorean behind me here. And I was driving it tonight and it started raining, so I came back. But yeah, it's it's pretty cool. So Mohit, you enjoyed the trailer. Good. I'm glad you did. Yeah, I think we're going to do one every year from now on. But yeah, glad you enjoyed the trailer. Just try to put something nice together for the channel. All right, let's see what we got here. Top chats. Happy New Year, everybody, by the way. 2021. Be ready to rock in 2021. And just make things happen, man. Just make things happen. What year am I going back to? Shoot. I'm going forwards. Red Pill Mike, what's up, man? See, Red Pill Mike's awake. Welcome to AMS Royalty Subs. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. I see the insignia, guys. You got to get the insignia. All right? You got to be a royalty subscriber. Royalty, John Stone, what's up? Happy New Year from India. A lot of guys from India. What time is it in India right now? Happy New Year, everybody. 2021, man. Anybody party last night? It was New Year's. It was New Year's. Let's see. Oh, Mike, get to Trans Am, dude. You got to get the TA. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I ended up looking online at 77 Trans Ams that were available. Actually, there are a few out there. Most of them are automatics, though. That's the problem. You got to get a 4-speed. You got to get a stick. So yeah, obviously those are going to go for more. Yeah, you know what coaching video I did tonight, guys? I talked about, I did one about how masculinity back in the day found you, and you didn't have to go looking for it. Nowadays, you have to go looking for it. Whether it's with cars, whether it's with movies, music. Back in the day, it just found you, right? We had tons of masculine cars, tons of masculine movies, tons of just masculine music. Nowadays, it's like you have to go searching for this stuff. It's not going to find you. These days, it's mostly like electric cars, hybrids. Even sports cars today are mostly automatic. Um, yeah, it's just sad. Sad. Music. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see some questions. Oh, Brazil. What's going on in Brazil, man? I love Brazilian women. Brazilian women are fun. They're really cool. They're like really easy to make out with. they're like totally down to make out, but they won't do anything beyond that unless you date them, unless they, you're like their boyfriend. But as far as like making out goes, they're totally like, yeah, I'll make out with you. Like, whoa, it's totally cool. So whenever I meet a girl who's Brazilian and she's from Brazil, I'm like, hey, do you want to make out? Okay. But then once you start like trying to grab or anything, they're like, oh, all we're doing is making out. But yeah, I love Brazilian women. Yep, they can charge for a manual. Oh, I was looking at the Lambo, right? So the Lambo, they're all automatic now. So I was asking the guy, like, the last year that Lambo made a manual transmission, a gated 6 speed. How hard is it to find that? And I was talking to the dealer, and he was like, not only is it hard to find, but she was like, you're gonna pay like 25 to 35% more for that car. He's like, do you really want it that bad? I'm like, man, why can't they just make a manual for Pete's sakes? Does being icy make you alpha? If you're icy, that's definitely a trait of being alpha, but there are many traits. But that is a big one right there, is being icy and non-reactive. Ooh. Red Pill Mike, I found one that is 1979 silver one with a black phoenix for 30. Is that 32K or 320? Wait, no, that is 32,000 for 32,000. Yeah, how many miles are on it, and is it original? Those are the things that I look for: is how many miles are on it, and if it's how original it is. So it depends what you're going to do with it too. I mean, if you're going to drive it around all over the place, then the mileage isn't really going to matter. But yeah, those are things I look for: is originality. I want to make sure it's numbers matching, engine, transmission, numbers match, and no rust. Obviously, you got to make sure it doesn't have rust, because that could be a big problem. And preferably, I like the ones with T tops, even though they leak. T tops on those cars leak. They're gonna leak, but I don't know. I just like them. You ever watch Hoovy's Garage? You guys ask me who I follow. I watch Hoovy's Garage a lot. He's a channel that I follow. I love Hoovy's Garage. Mike, watch Hoovy's Garage on. He covered Trans Am like 3 times. He did 3 different videos on Trans Ams. One was the black one, and then he did one on like an 80 turbo Trans Am. It was pretty hilarious, but yeah, you should watch Hoovy's Garage. So yeah, I follow Hoovy's Garage. I follow Financial Education. I don't really follow Graham anymore. I used to watch Graham Stephan, but lately it's just been all like clickbait, and all his thumbnails are like this, and then it's like some title about something shocking, like the stock market's crashing. It gets old after a while, but he still has good advice. I follow him on Instagram, but yeah, I just stopped following the channel. But for anybody asking about short guys dating attractive women, yeah, Graham got a girlfriend. She looks pretty cute, and it looks like he's trying to get married. So, whew. Do you think Trump will find a way to stay in office? John Stone. He might. He might. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past him. I mean, if you just look logically, it doesn't look like it. But he has pulled off a lot of crazy things. So, I mean, anything's possible. Hey, look at what happened in 2020. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't place bets against him, put it that way. I don't know what's going to happen, but I wouldn't place bets against him, whether you like him or not. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I wouldn't place bets against him, and no matter what, I definitely see him running again. Yeah. No bookshelves in this house. Yeah, I'm not in the Thai house. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. Red Pill Mike. 5,000 original? Really? Make sure it didn't spin around, because those were the odometers that only had like I think it was like, yeah, the six digit odometer that can spin around. But Yeah, I would verify that to just make sure it's all documented and because if it's 5,000 original, well, I guess yeah, that's a pretty good price then. Yeah, I'm surprised he wouldn't ask like 50 or something like that, or 75 or maybe even 100. But if I mean that's if it's original, then yeah, that's pretty crazy. I would definitely check that out though. Yeah, I would totally check that out. Even when I was hunting this car and they said it was a 10,000 original mile car and they documented it, obviously I did my own research. I was like, okay, I believe you, but I'm just going to do my own research as well. And I had to track down the owner. I tracked down the original owner who passed away, and he was a dentist, and he lived 2 miles away from his practice, and his family could verify it, and they were like, no, practice was 2 miles away. Just drove it back and forth. Stopped driving it in 2005. It sat for 15 years. Uh, Leak tops, yeah. Oh, Red Pill Mike, there is a showroom in Fort Worth that sells classic cars. Okay, yeah, I would check that out. I would definitely check that out. There was actually one in Vegas too, where I went to go look, where they had a 70. It was a '78 Trans Am. It also had like I think it had like 52,000 miles, but they were asking like 30 something for it. But it was an automatic, and I just couldn't do it. And no T tops either. I was like, yeah, I gotta find what I want to find. Jay Leno's Garage. Yeah, actually, I am subscribed to Jay Leno's Garage too. Yeah, I love Jay Leno's Garage. Actually, funny story is Jay Leno lives probably a mile in the hills from where I live. So I would see Jay Leno. Well, I still do. He goes to the same Ralph's supermarket that I go to in Sherman Oaks. So he's usually in there late because I go in there late too because I don't like going when there's tons of people in there. So they're usually open till like 2 in the morning. So I'll roll in there about 11 or 12, and oddly I run into Jay Leno there. I remember I ran into him my birthday about a year or two ago, and he was like walking to his car, and I was like, Jay, what kind of car is that? Because I didn't recognize it, and it was some like odd car, and I went to go look at it, and yeah, really nice guy. He's like really down to earth. Okay. Fix the date, yeah. All right, Ebonics 33 with a 4.99 super chat. If you get a Genesis car, or what's a Genesis? Or SUV, still alpha. SUVs are alpha. Depends on what kind, though. Yeah, depends on what kind. Don't. I mean, I don't know. It's to each his own, right? To each his own. But I'm just not a fan of electric cars right now. Right? I have a few followers who have Teslas, so um, I'm a fan of Elon Musk. I don't know how I feel about the Teslas personally. Just because they do most of the driving for you, and I'm just old school where I like to drive the car. I like knobs, I like buttons, I like gear shifters. I like that stuff when I get in the car. I don't like getting in the car and then there's nothing but a flat screen. I'll feel like I'm at work. I don't know. That's just me. I'm old school. That's why I buy cars like this. I love old cars. I love muscle cars. I love classic cars. They're just fun. They're fun. They're nostalgic. I love the history. And then they're great investments too. So I mean, if you buy it right, you're not going to lose money. Whereas if you buy a brand new car, whether it be a brand new Tesla or a brand new Range Rover, that thing's going to drop in value fast. What do you think about something channel? I don't know. I don't watch any other dating channels, to be honest. I don't watch other dating channels or red pill channels. I've said that before. I watch car channels. I just watch other things to get my mind off of it because I'm doing this like literally day and night. I go out still. I still do cold approach, even with the Roni. I still take private students out that were like long time clients. I still take these guys out. So I don't really watch other channels. I mean, yeah, I just don't. Especially like if you're experiencing this stuff live in real life and then you're doing your own coaching videos on it, the last thing you're going to do is go on YouTube and watch other dudes' stuff. You know? So, like if I go on YouTube, I usually just want to go on YouTube and just watch just stuff that has nothing to do with dating advice or pickup or red pill. Because I talk about it all the time. My channel revolves around it, and I do it. All right, let's see. What do we got here? DMC in the house. That's right. That is right. Matt, Matt, what you think will happen? Mike Farn, Mark Farn, sorry, Mark Farn. Matt, what do you think will happen with the USA under Biden? Just the same thing that happens under every leftist president, which is bigger government, more spending, more regulations, more feminization, more empowering women, especially single mothers. Just basically all the values that I'm against. So yeah, that's why I don't vote that way. It's just yeah, I don't. I just don't vote that way. Uh, yeah, even when Obama ran, and who was running back then? I think it was like Romney or something like that. I didn't even vote. I just didn't care. I was like, okay, well, I'm just not going to vote. I'm going to sit it out. But yeah, I definitely don't never. I just never vote left because it's always about destroying the nuclear family, empowering the matriarchy, feminism, cancel culture, wokeness. That's what all that's about. So anything that will fight against that, I'm for. And that's usually the right. And even them, even the people on the right, even like Republicans are not, a lot of them are jumping on board with that stuff. And I'm not down with that. But really, I mean, their party is still, I mean, at least I want to say not as bad as the the party of the left, where they're like just got their foot on the gas as far as like feminism goes and emasculating men and destroying the nuclear family. I'm not on board with that. Totally not on board with that. Just goes against my values. So yeah, and I've talked about all the regulations. Like, man, I grew up by the beach. I mean, I remember like growing up by the beach. I could like we would bonfire as teenagers. We would go like throw bonfires on the beach. Can you imagine? I mean, just teenagers throwing bonfires today on the beach. I mean, the cops would be there just hauling them away. But we used to do that. We used to get wood and just light it up and have a bonfire. We would invite girls and stuff like that, and we'd end up like hooking up with those girls, making out by the fire, and we'd like play football on the beach, throw a frisbee, bring our dogs. You can't do any of that anymore. Can't bring your dog to the beach. Can't throw a frisbee. Can't fly a kite. Can't can't even bonfire. Why? Who's in charge in California? Democrats, right? They want to throw in all these regulations. In San Francisco, where I grew up, they banned Happy Meals. They banned plastic straws. They're giving you these paper straws where after like a minute of drinking through it, it just fizzles. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's just so insane. It just breaks apart. But that's what you get. But the best thing you could do, even if your party is not in office, is just enjoy your life anyway. Because that's just the way it is, right? That's politics. Just enjoy it anyway. Velez, am I drunk? No, I don't drink. You follow my channel. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I could count on one hand how many times I drank alcohol, believe it or not. And most of that, well, maybe two hands. Definitely less than a dozen times in my life. On occasion, if it's an occasion, I'll have a little bit of wine. But yeah, I don't drink, don't smoke, don't do alcohol. I think my worst habit is I have a sweet tooth. I would be in such phenomenal shape if I didn't have such a freaking sweet tooth. Like every once in a while, I gotta have a cookie, man. And I have like a Quest cookie. It's not like I'm eating like peanut butter cup cookies. I'm eating like Quest cookies and stuff like that. And even those are like really, really good. Oh, love Quest cookies. Who else eats Quest? Red Pill Mike, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike. How much FU money would you recommend somebody have stashed away to walk away from corporate America and start their own Red Pill channel? Man, um, depends where you live. I would say the first and foremost depends where you live, because if you're paying rent, like where I was living in San Francisco, forget about it. Even when I moved to LA, it's insane the what rent costs in the city. I remember even like some of my older videos I was shooting in my studio apartment in LA, and that studio apartment was like shit. It was like almost 3,000 per month. And I had some haters like, "Oh, you're in your tiny little apartment. Ooh, where I live, that's a $500 apartment." And it's like, "Hey, dumbass, I'm in the middle of Los Angeles by Hollywood, in Sherman Oaks. You know how much this? And I'm at a plaza. We had a dog park. We had two swimming pools, two jacuzzis, fitness center, the whole nine. 24/7 security. It was gated. I'm like, for a place like this in California, yeah, $500 won't even get you a cardboard box. I'm like, are you kidding me? But yeah, it depends where you live. I mean, rent is going to be the biggest thing, and then obviously getting traction on your channel is going to be big. I just gave a whole presentation to my entrepreneurs group not that long ago about people who are starting a YouTube channel, and a lot of it is timing, luck, consistency. Because when I started my channel, I kind of got in at the right time. I mean, literally, I started my channel. Technically, I got on YouTube in 2008. That's when I was doing game and pickup. I had like a different channel called Master of Pickup, um, and that's I had traction from that channel, and I was able to take a lot of those subscribers onto my 33 secrets, because I was like, hey everybody, I'm starting a different channel called the 33 secrets. This is going to be the main channel. I'm abandoning Master of Pickup, and a lot of those followers came over. But that was a time when YouTube was still like in its infancy. So now YouTube is just cluttered. But I would just stay at the job and then start uploading videos, and then see if you could get traction that way before you leave your job. But in the meantime, yeah, build up that FU money, because you need it. Even I thought I had tons of FU money. I had stashed away a lot of FU money. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna live like a king, and it's like super fast that money went. It was insane how fast the money went, and I wasn't even spending a whole lot. Like the money just went whoosh. It was gone, and it was in a way it was a good thing too, though, because it took me getting down to my last 500 bucks in the bank and running into credit card debt. Like I'd racked up like over $100,000 in credit card debt, and then had 500 bucks to my name during this time. That's when I was like, you know what? I got to stop trying to build these businesses. I got to just teach pickup for a while, just bring in some money. And then that became the business. I was like, shit, I like the channel just took off. I was getting more students than I could handle. I was getting, just tons and tons of people wanting to learn. So it just, yeah, it's just luck, timing. Um, could this be done today? I don't know, like how successful I would be today. It's just I have a lot of traction now. So yeah, it's about getting traction. Okay, Aditya, can you please make a video on various ways to make money online for college guys? Yeah, you want to start with a side gig. I could do some more videos in the future, I guess, but you definitely want to start just with a side gig, to just kind of feel your way into it and familiarize yourself with the business. That's how I got into, other businesses outside of pickup, like buying other people's websites and e-commerce sites and cash flowing sites. I just started researching and started looking for opportunities that I thought I could make successful. And, I failed a few times, and I've had a few big wins as well, but it's doing well now, because now I kind of understand how to do it. But it's all about just diving in and getting your feet wet and making mistakes and failing. You know, that's what I teach you guys in all my programs. You got to fail as fast as you can. That's the best way to learn, especially if there's money involved and you fail. It's the best way to learn because it'll hurt. It'll hurt when you lose money. You'll be like, shit, I'm not going to do this again. David, Wealthy, Guerrero, I cannot believe my eyes. Where are the dogs? Is the DeLorean comfy enough? Hugs from Colombia. Thank you. Appreciate that. Um, yeah, they're here at my house. So yeah, they're chilling, sleeping, and I'm probably gonna take them. I usually take my dogs out before I go to sleep, so they're like sleeping right now. But no matter what time it is, I always take them out right before I go to sleep. That way they don't have to pee again until the next day. But but yeah, the DeLorean is super, super. It's just a comfortable car. It's real. I mean, I can't even believe this is 1981 technology, but it's just so comfortable. There's no rattles. It shifts. It drives so smooth. It's reliable. It's pretty good on gas. It's just a great car. Gets a lot of attention. Um, yeah, it's just a great car. So yeah, it's surprisingly, I didn't think this would happen, but a lot of females have noticed the car and have like stopped and talked to me. Um, Most of them haven't been that great looking, but one or two have, you know. And there was this one recently that was actually pretty young, and she was just like mesmerized by the car. She was like, "Wow, I can't believe I'm seeing one in person." And I saw the movie, and I'm like, "You were you old enough to see Back to the Future?" And she was like, "Oh, I, my brother's older than me, and we would watch it together, and I just can't believe this." And you know, so yeah, of course, I like struck up a conversation with her. Uh, Mike Foreign, the left is communist driven in my eyes. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, they've pretty much always been for socialism, right? And just kind of like reaching in everyone else's pockets and, you know, forcing you to do things that you don't want. One of my big influences that I had that turned me, you know, turned me more conservative. I don't know if you want to call me conservative, but turned me more towards the right is Milton Friedman. So if you guys are fans of economics, I've learned a lot from Milton Friedman, who was just a very brilliant economist, especially when it comes to capitalism. Obviously, I'm a capitalist. I'm for less government regulations and just smaller government, period. And so when people ask me, like, how come I don't hire more in the US? I'm like, too many regulations, too much red tape. I'm like, I would love to, but I can't. It's easier just to hire people overseas, and they appreciate it more. I'm like, mm-mm, you know, too much government regulation, too much red tape. Uh, you know, government's in our lives too much. So, yeah. David, hello, Matt. Is there anything you're looking forward to? Anything in mind? Yeah, I always keep something that I'm looking forward to. I told you guys that three factors of happiness: something to do, someone to love, and something to look forward to. That is super important that you always have something to look forward to. You guys watch me. I'm always energized. I'm always pretty much in a good mood about life, right? Because I always have something to look forward to. What I'm looking forward to right now is my trip to Vegas, right? I'm going out to Vegas again, and taking my girl with me that I just started dating, so I'm kind of excited about that. And spending time with her, and obviously I'm going to work while I'm there, so she's going to do her own thing as well. But because she has family there, and I'm like, okay, perfect. But I'm looking forward to that trip. Taking Cash and Gizmo on that trip. They love the casino. I take them in the casino, and they're like, you know. So I love going out to Vegas. Great restaurants. I love the lights. Everything's just open. The casinos are open 24/7. So I'm totally looking forward to that. And then when I get back from Vegas, I plan something else to look forward to. So there's always something to look forward to, right? Because when you don't have anything to look forward to, man, that's when you get depressed and life you start stagnating in life. This is why you have to constantly be moving in life. Constantly be moving. Craig, 2004. Matt, what would you tell your 16-year-old self? My 16-year-old self, I would tell myself to shoot. I don't know what I would tell myself. You know what I would tell myself? I would tell myself to just go for it more often. My parents were strict growing up, so there was a dance we had on a boat that my parents forbade me from going to that I should have just gone. And I snuck out of my house a lot of times, but that was one where I should have just done it. But yeah, I would probably tell myself that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have much advice for my 16-year-old self, more my 21-year-old self. But yeah, my 16-year-old self would never have listened to me. Mike Farn, you are totally right about that. My grandfather said the same thing. My grandfather served in World War One, World War Two. Um, yeah, I was the first not to serve in the military. My dad forbid it. He was like, "Don't." Should I use the claw during day game? No, I would not recommend the claw during day game. I very 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 rarely use the claw during day game. It's always at night. It's always in a venue, and it's always busy. So that's usually when you use the claw. You don't need it during the day. You really don't need the claw during the day. I'm going to be uploading a video about the claw probably in a couple of weeks, though, on my 33 channel. But yeah, you don't need the claw during the day. Do you often meet friends? Yeah, all the time because I always go out. That's the thing when you're constantly going out, you constantly meet people. Whether it's through my entrepreneurs group, I'm always getting new people through there, and then just going out wherever I travel because I do cold approach. So it's not like I just talk to the ladies only, but usually if they have guys there, I start talking to the guys. If I'm in a venue and I see the same guy at the same venue over and over, and especially if he's doing a cold approach, I'll just start talking to him. But I've met a lot of really cool guys through the years. Yep, true. Mm-mm-mm. Daniel Lamberto, do you still engage with your blue pill friends? No, not so much anymore. Those guys are just yeah. Because a lot of those guys too back in the day, those guys were manginas. Those guys were white knights. So back then, I don't do this now. Like if I have a girlfriend now, I'm not gonna cheat on her. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna have a girlfriend. And this is why, like, I tell girls now that I don't want a girlfriend because I don't want their responsibility. But a lot of my blue pill friends back then, I had girlfriends, and yeah, I was like playing around behind their backs. They would tell on me, like some of these dudes, like serious white knights, would like tell on me, man. It's just wrong. But no, I don't associate with them anymore. Yeah, not cool. And a lot of times they were telling my girlfriend not to be like honorable, but they were trying to get with her, right? They were trying to knock me out of there by telling on me. Drake and Page, Alpha Male Secrets. I agree. Cool. Velez, because I'm drunk. All right. uh, Some Dev, Mana, what's your goal in 2021? Keep living, keep enjoying life, keep rocking, keep moving, keep meeting new people, keep exploring humanity, keep growing my channel, keep pumping out high value content, spend more time with my family, friends, Cash and Gizmo. Aditya, do you think America is declining to a third world country? In many parts, it is. I mean, with the homelessness going on, yeah. I mean, there was always homelessness, but these days it's just gone to extraordinary levels. Thanks to our politicians and government selling us out to foreign countries and letting them come in and buy real estate, and they don't even live here, they don't even have citizenship, and like just come in and buy all this real estate because they knew it was going to go up. Whereas you can't go to another country and buy real estate unless you live there. So I don't know why they allow that here, but yeah, that's a big part of our homeless problem. Yeah, but guys always ask me is like as far as San Francisco goes, like, oh, do you ever see homeless there, or even LA? Do you see homeless there? I don't really see it where I live. I I usually see it. You'll see it like when you go deep into the center of the city. Like you go to Hollywood, you'll see homeless people in Hollywood. I mean, you'll see hot chicks stepping over homeless people as they leave the club. It's hilarious. In San Francisco, same thing. You don't see homeless people unless you go like to like the Tenderloin or downtown, and then now you're starting to see these campers like parked all over the place, where obviously people are living in their campers, right? But where I grew up mostly by the beach, by Ocean Beach. There weren't a whole lot of homeless people there. You're starting to see more people at the stoplights begging for change. Yeah, so that's getting ridiculous. Obviously, 7-Eleven too. Always outside 7-Eleven, man. So annoying. Superman, hey M, please speak my name. Vibe have. Wait, no, sorry. Vibe have. Did I say that right? Vibe, yeah. Vibe have? Vibe have. I'm horrible with names. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I apologize. Terry's travels. Hello from Berlin, Germany. You think the housing bubble is going to pop again? It should. I mean, yeah, because obviously, real estate, stock market, any financial sector goes in cycles, and it's basic Murphy's law. What goes up, must come down. So yeah, I believe something's going to happen. These real estate agents keep saying like housing prices are going up right now, and some are, but some aren't. I've seen a lot of houses decrease in value. Plus, people are fleeing the major cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles. People are fleeing because since COVID, they realize they can work from home. So rents are just plummeting right now. So now, if you're a renter, now's a good time to rent. And yeah, so rents are plummeting right now. And a lot of real estate investors who own homes, I mean, they're losing their tenants because they either can't pay because of COVID, or they're leaving California and going back home because they realize they don't need to live here. So either way, it's gonna change. It's gonna change something. But I would not buy a house right now if that's what you're thinking. I would hold off on that because I was like literally ready to buy this giant house, um, and I was going to build a YouTube studio and all this other stuff, and I was going to house my other cars, and I was getting the Lambo, and then I was going to put my Corvette in there and all this other stuff. Big ass garage and big ass backyard for my dogs to run around in. And once the COVID thing happened, I backed off because I'm like, wait, let's see what happens. And I'm probably gonna wait at least another year, maybe two tops, to see what happens with the economy. But yeah, I do see something happening that if you hold off, you'll probably save, you know, tens of thousands depending where you are. Okay. Yeah. Constantine, hi bro. How did it work out with the girl you described in your video with Dread Game? Did Dread Game give you the wanted results? Okay, yeah, I remember that video. That was in 2019. It worked out well, actually. Yeah, I got that girl. So yeah, it worked out well. And I dated her for a while actually, and then we recently, not that long ago, we just stopped dating. I think it was more mutual, just because it was kind of like, okay, that relationship ran its course. We passed the best before date, right? We call it the best before date, like when you buy milk or something. There's a best before date on it, and then after that date, it's kind of expired. But yeah, she's a cool girl. I mean, yeah, she's attractive and everything. I still kind of think about her every once in a while, but I think I'm just over it. I've moved on. I don't know what she's up to, but yeah, it didn't end bad, but yeah, we were together for a bit, but it did work. I mean, Dread Game, it's classic push pull. That's all it is. So that stuff is the most powerful weapon in game. Okay, John Stone with a $5 super chat. Can you upload your treatment script? Oh, to the mentor. Oh, you talk about the mentor. I love the scene you uploaded. Great dialogue and meaning. Also like your '90s grunge look. Yeah, that wasn't even that long ago. That was like 2009. But yeah, I mean, I still had that was still like very much in the days of peacocking with pickup and game, and I tried not to wear that stuff to class. I did a few times, but that was actually a day where I was dressed down, believe it or not. But yeah, yeah, it's such a great script too, and all I mean, I had a full cast on board to film it and everything, and actually the girl that was in that scene in that video, you guys could watch it here on my Alpha channel, the mentor. It was a script that I wrote a long while ago, and I took a filmmaking class with Jeffrey Weissman from oddly Back to the Future. Right, he played Crispin Glover's, or yeah, he took over for Crispin Glover. He played George McFly in Back to the Future 2 and 3. So he was a moderator of the class, but I took that class, and that was a scene from a script that I wrote called The Mentor. And the chick in that scene, her name was Micah. So yeah, I was hanging with Micah for a bit there, a few years. But she was supposed to be in the film. I was going to use her as well. But yeah, the industry really changed at that time. Not to mention that was the time when I was leaving my corporate job and going broke from starting all these businesses, and so yeah, it was just a decision I made to just put both feet into trying to get traction on my business and making that work. And then I was like, oh, I'll go back to the script. I'll shoot it once I get some money in. And then once I did, the filmmaking industry totally changed, and it's like totally feminized. I wanted to pitch that too, by the way. I wanted to pitch it to Universal. I knew somebody over there, and that was a person who was like saying, yeah, you can't really get something like this passed right now unless you want to include some gay characters, some more females. So, you know, you want to change this part of script. I'm like, that kills the entire storyline. I'm like, if I do all that, what's the point? And he was like, sorry, you know, that's what you need to do. And I'm like, forget this. I'm like, I don't even want to write anything else if that's the way it is. Okay, you should extend your content into Spanish, says John Doe. Por eso nunca serás tan grande como yo, porque tú tienes mucho corazón. See if you know what I said. But yeah, no, I agree with it. Yeah. I just took a line out of my favorite movie that was in Spanish called El Mariachi. I just stole that, by the way. I don't speak Spanish. Don't be fooled. Um, no, J.S. Hansen. I've been getting Tom Cruise comments lately, especially on that mentor thing. They're like, dude, Tom Cruise. Yeah, Mike Farn, you're right. You're totally right. That's why do you think I'm against, putting so many females in government, right? That's what happens. That's what happens. And I forgot who said this. It might have even been in the Bible, actually, where I read this, but it said, it's the beginning of the end when women take control or women are in charge. It's the beginning of the end. And right now, yeah. Nova, Brave, Matt, please answer this. Continue university, yes or no? It depends what you're studying. If you're there to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, where you need to be licensed by the state, you got to continue. If you're there to learn business, filmmaking, anything like that you don't need to be licensed by the state, get out. Get out of there, right? Just start grinding. Just start doing it. Just start. Okay, I think I got some super chats. Let me get to those. Super chat. Media Hits with a $5 super chat. Iron Maiden favorite album. I remember Iron Maiden from high school. What's yours? What's your favorite Iron Maiden song? I still remember that scene in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure where they're like, put them in the Iron Maiden. And they're like, Iron Maiden, excellent. And they're like, execute them. Bogus. Firmino9, do you use different tactics when picking up foreign girls? I imagine girls from Japan would receive it differently to American girls, for instance. I don't use different tactics so much. I just calibrate. So this is something I repeat over and over and pick up in game is the entire game is calibration. So you must always be calibrating. So when it comes to foreign girls, whether they're from Japan, whether they're from Eastern Europe, like Russia, Ukraine, I'm constantly calibrating. I'm just feeling them out. So I'm vibing with them, and then I'm just kind of feeling their aura, and then based on what I'm getting back from them, any feedback, I calibrate my game to that. Okay, so it's no different than approaching, say, a shy girl versus a girl who's extroverted, right? I'm going to calibrate. The girl who's extroverted, I'm going to take her, spin her around, try to get a quick make out with her. Whereas a girl who's more conservative, I'm just gonna hold back a little bit and I'm just gonna be a little more subtle. I'm still gonna work game on her. I'm still gonna use the same tactics, but I'm just gonna calibrate. So it's the same thing with foreign girls. Depending on whatever country they're from, doesn't matter. Just calibrate. Okay, Prakash Kumar with the 100 rupee super chat. Love your content. You had a good impact on my life. Thanks a lot. Need your best wishes. Thank you. And Merry Christmas. God bless and Happy New Year. Red Pill Mike with a $5 super chat. I haven't heard you mention Cash's prognosis recently. Was his paralysis? Was his yeah? So he's paralyzed. Okay. Permanent. What adjustments did you have to make having a handicapped dog? So yeah. So my dog Cash obviously stopped walking a little over a year ago, and I took him to the best doctors, guys. This is a good part about being financially okay, I guess you could say. I took him to the best neurologist in Southern California, who actually works on celebrity dogs like Cedric the Entertainer, and I think he even works on Will Smith's dogs. So Cash is his doctor. Wait, I didn't say that right. So his doctor is Cash's doctor. But anyway, yeah, it's permanent. We even did an MRI on Cash. So the MRI, he was literally like, it's up to you. The MRI, he was like, there's an 8% chance we could find something that can help Cash be more comfortable, maybe even walk again. 8% chance on this MRI. The MRI is like $2,500. 8% chance. I'll leave it up to you. Most people, 8% chance, they're not going to take it. I was like, 8%? That's good. 8%'s good. Boom, let's do it. And then we put him in the MRI, and of course, there was nothing he could do. So, yeah, I was out $2,500, but at least we knew. We're like, okay, without doubt, this is just the way it is. And he was saying that, Cash doesn't even really realize that he's not, he's paralyzed now. He doesn't, because some dogs are aware of it, but Cash was just kind of like, okay, fine. He's happy otherwise and he's normal otherwise. So there was no way I was going to put him to sleep, because he was like, oh yeah, some owners will actually put their dog to sleep, even though the only thing wrong with them is that they're handicapped. And I said, no, he's kind of like my kid. I'm like, if I had a handicapped kid, I wouldn't put my handicapped kid down. I just go, hey, these were the cards we are dealt from God, and we're going to deal with it, and we're going to have a great attitude about it. So that's how I look at it. I just try to have a positive attitude, and Cash's attitude is positive, and yeah, it doesn't affect him otherwise. The only arrangements that I've made is I got him a stroller. It's called the Dogger. I had to get this from Canada. I had to special order it. It's basically like a $350, 400, I don't know how much that thing is. It's expensive for a dog stroller, and I just put him in there and I could stroll him around. Obviously, Gizmo could still walk, but yeah, so I got the stroller and just stroll him around in that when he's not in the DeLorean with me or the Corvette. So yeah, I have that in my Range Rover. So I just take him, yeah, I just take him in that car and or in that stroller. But yeah, he's normal otherwise. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. But yeah, there was really nothing they could do. It's something called what Cash has is something called pug myopathy. So it's if you have when it comes to certain breeds, there's always something, right? Like I always want to get a Australian cattle dog, and they said a percentage of the Australian cattle dogs are going to go blind at some point. Not all of them that, but a percentage of them. Whereas with pugs, a percentage of them will have pug myopathy where they will eventually lose their ability to walk on their rear legs. So it's just his rear legs. It's not his front. He can walk on his front legs. He just can't walk on his rear legs. So I just have to kind of carry him around and help him pee, which I'm happy to do. I mean, Cash has been there with me from day one. He helped me build my business, basically. He was always there with me. Same as Gizmo, so I owe it to them. And they're both rescues, by the way. I had a Doberman before this and a Pom, but they're all rescues. I don't go to breeders or anything like that. I actually inherited these dogs from my siblings because they couldn't take care of them. So, but yeah, that's what's going on with Cash, and it's just unfortunately, it's something that pugs get. I think it's like 15 to 25% of them get this, and unfortunately, he was one of those that got it, and yeah, I'm just gonna deal with it. Not too much we could do. He's happy otherwise, and he's normal, so that's the most important thing. He's not in any pain or anything like that, so we're good. All right. Matt, could you please F22 Daniel? Matt, could you please make a video about Genesis chapter 39? It is about a first recorded Me Too incident. Interesting. I'll look into that. Okay, I'll look into that. Yeah, Bible's like an encyclopedia, right? There's so many great lessons in it. Even if you're a non-believer, there's just so much wisdom in it. But I will look into that. I'll look into that one. Genesis chapter 39. Okay, let's see. I think I've gotten everybody. All right, let's see if we got any more here. I'll stay on for a little bit longer. Okay. John Stone, what are your thoughts on Jordan Peterson? I don't know. I mean, there's some people I could watch and some people I can't. I know he bashed pickup artists at one point. I just remember that. That's the only video that I watched because I'm always open to see like what people's gripes are about it. And obviously, I watched his, and yeah, it was not an accurate portrayal of what pickup was about. So I didn't get a bad. I mean, I don't have any bad feelings about him. I think he's spreading a good message. I think he's articulate, maybe a little too articulate for me. I like people who just tell things to me straight in a practical manner that I can apply. Where Jordan Peterson is more of an intellectual, right? So you'll find that or you might find some of his videos hard to follow at some point. But yeah, I just remember the one he did on pickup artists, and he was just saying, "Oh, it's very manipulative and this and that." And I'm like, he's describing pickup 1.0 from 2002, right? I'm like, that's not the pickup or game that I teach, or even the game that I was a part of. I was always a natural, and I try to teach guys natural game. But he was describing like memorizing lines and canned routines, and I'm like, I don't teach that. I'm like, who's he even talking about? I'm like, I remember Mystery teaching that, or Neil Strauss back in the day, but there's some guys who can pull that off. I'm like, but that's not what I taught. And then also too, what he was describing about love and everything else, I did not agree with. But I always look at the person's history too. And Jordan Peterson, he met his wife in what, the seventh grade or something like that, and he's been married to her since. He's not cold approached. Yeah, I mean, he's been like with the same woman for decades now. So he's coming from a biased standpoint as far as that goes. But his other videos are pretty, they're pretty spot on. And um, but yeah, I just find him hard to follow. He's too much of an intellectual. Reminds me of some of my college professors where I'm just like, can't you just tell it to me in lame terms, that I could just like apply this right away? Do you really have to give me like the encyclopedia definition? Can't you just talk to me? That's the thing with intellectuals. They just can't talk to you. It's like they're talking to you through a textbook almost. But I mean, obviously he's a threat to feminists, so that's good. That's always good. Murad Kawar with a 4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Looks like you got a vet in that profile photo. That's the right car. Nice. Bubba's reviews. I'm married and this all helps me a ton. When I first started going more red pill, I made the mistake of viewing her like a mindless, uh, poorly programmed robot. They are wired different. Yeah, they are. Men and women are completely different. That's another thing about woke culture is like, we're all the same, exactly the same. This is just societal engineering that tells us we're different. No, we're different. We're different. I've been doing cold approach forever, and that is one thing I will go to the grave with. No, men and women are absolutely different. Even the ones who try to act like dudes. No, we're different. You are helping people all over the world, buddy. Just want you to know it. I appreciate that. Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Mr. Freshman, what was your life like at 20 years old? Lost, directionless, broke, didn't know what I was going to do. Um, just hanging out with my girlfriend at the time, my college girlfriend, and then meanwhile I was picking up other girls on campus. Uh, yeah, I wasn't doing anything, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure. I knew I wanted to do something big, and I just didn't want to be average. That's what I knew. I was like, I want to do something with my life. I want to do something big. I just didn't know what it was. I thought it'd be football, so I thought I had a career in football, but that can only go so far. Red Pill Mike, yeah, he said they were sociopaths. It was total misinformation. Yeah, yeah, he said pickup artists were sociopaths. I'm like, why? Because they were charismatic? Because we know how to handle social situations? It's like, no, sociopaths are usually people who are socially awkward. Those are the people who end up like, doing car bombs and shit. And, yeah, but yeah, yeah. I watched it a few years back. It was like that video is probably like 3 to 5 years old. So it was a while since I watched it. Another pickup guy sent it to me and said, "What do I think?" So I watched it and I was like, I just remember going, "No, wrong, 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 incorrect. Nope, wrong." He was just off about a lot of things. But then, like I said, I look at the person in their dating history, and he married his childhood sweetheart. He has not really ventured outside of that. So let's see. Platinum Elite $25 super chat. That's awesome, man. I appreciate that so much. Platinum Elite, you're the man. Media Hits with a $5 super chat. MGTOW JP, GDP 2021. Oh, gross domestic product. Your guess is as good as mine, man. John Stone, I appreciate your message. Thank you. Matt Dubia, Peterson has no game, been with the same chick his whole life, and his daughter is an insta thought. I don't care what he has to say. Yeah, I mean that exactly. I always look at the person it's coming from. If first somebody has a criticism, I will look at the person. I mean, I'll listen to the message, then I'll look at the person's background. I'm like, okay, why are they criticizing? So yeah, again, his that whole video was kind of like, I was like, dude, he needs to come on my boot camp. He'll change his opinion. Like if he sees the way I teach guys and just the way they've changed their lives, and I've helped a lot of guys who wanted to get married. They literally came into my program going, "I'm looking for my wife. I want to have a son. I want to have a family. Don't shame me for that." Da da da. And I'm like, "No, I'll help you." And then they found their wives, because I taught them some game, and they were able to choose out of abundance versus scarcity. And yeah, I would say almost all of my students, most all of them ended up getting a girl way above what they were used to getting in the look scale, way younger too. And some of these guys, I was amazed myself. I'm like, good for you, you know. And yeah, Peterson would be very shocked that that's not the way it is. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe his wife has him by the balls. And he can't even shoot an AR. David Welty Guerrero, you're welcome. Don Ramon, women think you live in the garage. Yeah, I feel like it sometimes as much as I'm down here shooting and everything like that. I've already done the house tour too. I did like back in the day. Well, not even back in the day. It was like a year ago when I was like doing these hater house tours. Yeah, I like went around my entire house. I did a house, literally house tour, and then at the end of many coaching videos, I'm like, let me do the hater house tour. It's insane. It is insane. But I don't know if you guys realize that I have more than one property. But Don, if they're older women who think I live in the garage, I want them to think that. I don't want them. Yeah, I don't want them thinking they have. I don't want them having any reason to have any interest in me. Red Pill Mike, $5 super chat. Men who have been with the same woman forever can only give you advice on that woman. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Thank you. But they know nothing about women in general. Yeah, I mean, if you're only with the same girl, I mean, I can imagine. I remember my seventh grade girlfriend, this girl Sherry. I dated. She was my first girlfriend. Seventh grade, middle school. If I was with that chick since seventh grade and we're still together now, I would not be commenting on guys teaching dating advice who are actually going out and meeting other women and more women, or just guys who've had more than one girlfriend. I just be like, hey, you probably know better than me. I've been with the same girl forever. I hit the jackpot on the first pull. I wouldn't know, but yeah. So that was the only thing that really turned me off about him. Was like, dude, really, really, you? Yeah, I wasn't even surprised when I looked up his history and I looked up his marriage, and I was not surprised. I'm like, of course he's gonna say something like that. Of course he is. But yeah, he's the type though, like he's an intellectual. He's the type that they would probably invite to like a TED Talks or something. They're never going to invite me to TED Talks. I laugh my ass off at that. Like me, they will never be on TED Talks. For or any of those like Google authors when they have like Google authors, they'll never no. They don't want to hear what I have to say. Okay, what else we got here? Don Ramon, coach, woman bashing you. Ah, that's fine. Yeah, they're usually older women. That's fine. Doesn't bother me any. You know what bothers me is like, well, no, it doesn't even bother me. I don't even care. I was gonna say like, it. I would say it makes me sad when other guys bash me, like from other channels, and it's usually to kind of jump on my traffic. So I get that, doing marketing and stuff. I understand that, but it's like, dude, I'm just trying to help guys, and it's like you should focus on doing the same instead of like just like bashing other guys who are trying to help guys. That's the last thing I would do. But there you go. Raise. That's usually a sign that somebody's identifying with their feminine frame. Craig, 2004. Ever think of leaving society? No. Why? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's like a maze. It's too fun. Yeah. And two, if you are a believer in God, you're not supposed to commit suicide because you'll go to a dark, dark place. Yeah, you're just not supposed to. It's not your life to. It's not your life to end. Yeah, Static Dreams Entertainment. Yeah, I like Jordan, but he makes the mistake of a lot of people do and gives opinions about things he knows nothing about or have it. Yeah, that's something that I notice a lot of intellectuals do. Just say they're just too smart for their own good. Yeah, they're just way too smart for their own good. Mm, mm, mm. What women want from men? How do you find a good girl? Covered all this, guys. Watch my coaching videos on 33. Peterson needs 7 months to mastery big time. He needs to be in my program. He needs to learn how to game his wife. I don't know what kind of relationship he has with her, but sounds like it's kind of becoming one of those relationships of convenience, like when you've been married to somebody for so long. Martin Freeman, can you be an alpha man and drive a boring car? Yeah, you can. I mean, the car is just the icing on the cake. But if you have an opportunity to get an alpha car, buy an alpha car, right? Buy an alpha car. There are not many of them today. They're not a whole lot. And like I said, even the ones they're producing are freaking automatics, man. No stick shift. But I think you could still get a Mustang or a Challenger, right? In a stick. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't had a Challenger in a while. I bought the Challenger when it first came out. It was like 2008, a white one, because I thought it was Kowalski. Remember Vanishing Point? Who's seen Vanishing Point? Great movie, great alpha movie from the early 70s. Vanishing Point with Kowalski, with uh, a white Hemi Challenger. But I love that movie. Corey Kleinman, I'm on 11th, month 11 of Mastery. Phenomenal content. Thank you very much, and I'm honored to have you in my program. That's awesome. Murad Kawar with the 9.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Dread game is the truth. It is. Dread is powerful, man. Like I said, it's basic push pull. So yeah, you should always use dread game on girls that you like. Uh, and I've said this before too. Like whenever I have a student who meets a new girl that he really likes, not just a girl you kind of like, but just a girl like you really like, and I could usually tell by the guy's eyes, like he's into the girl. He's like, I kind of like this girl. I kind of like this girl. That's when I tell him you have to go out. It's like, dude, when you're not going on a date with her, go out. Just go out. Like, you don't have to cheat on her, but talk to other girls. Don't even have to approach other girls. Just talk to other girls. So you maintain your frame and your sense of abundance while you're in the honeymoon stage with her. Because when you're in the honeymoon stage with a girl that you really like, that's the time a lot of guys mess up. And then the frame gets established. And if the frame gets established that she has a power and you're like the little bitch in the relationship, that's how it's going to go. So you don't want that. You want to establish a frame that you're the one who has the power, and she's the one who's in the we called it the builder role, right? The builder and the star. She has lesser power than you, but you got to make sure you maintain that abundance. But yeah, dread is the way to do it. Matt, life's lessons. Matt, as a 23-year-old, should I date 18-year-olds or 27-year-olds and older? Yeah, I mean, if yeah, you could do that. If you're 23, you could date 18. You could date anybody really younger than you or older than you. Above 18, obviously. But yeah, you could do that. Why not? John Doe after 25 damaged goods. I mean, that's when their looks peak. You know, to be honest, you guys know that. Sam Rathod. Sam Rathod, how can I handle fights? You mean with who? Your girl or people in general? Are you talking about verbal fights or physical fights? Who are John Stone? Who are some actors you think are alpha males or at least not blue pilled these days? It's hard to say, man. John Voight. Uh, Man, they're really I like I was saying earlier, like masculinity used to be in your face. Now it's like you have to go searching for it. Same with actors. I mean, who's a masculine actor these days? I mean, I would name like I don't know, right? I would have to name guys from the past like a Mickey Rourke or Stallone, Schwarzenegger, obviously, Humphrey Bogart, James Dean, Clint Eastwood, John Wayne. Those guys are alpha. Maybe Matthew McConaughey actually. He was speaking out against other actors, just like kowtowing to the mob recently. So I'm sure he'll get blackballed pretty soon. Matt, I'm D Nico 7. Matt, I'm 44-year-old male doctor. Spent too much precious time on my ex. Broke up last August again. I'm European. What age should my next be? I'm not that young anymore. 44 is still young, actually. And the fact that you're a doctor, huge, huge brownie points with girls, the right girls. So, I mean, 44, you could easily get, you could get girls who are 20 years younger than you easily. Easily. I do it all the time. It's not a big deal. So it's really up to you what you're looking for. But that's what I would roll with. I would date girls in their 20s if I were you. And I had that type of prestige that you have, doctor. Yeah, shoot for the fences now that you're single. Don't look back on your ex because what did I tell you guys? You can't go backwards in a relationship. You can't just keep going in circles. Mike Farn, I like 18 and 24-year-olds. Ditto, me too. All right, let me get to these super chats real quick. Red Pill Mike with a $5 super chat. Have you seen the DNA of most of the creatures who do TED Talks? Yeah. They are usually post wall women saying they are single. Yeah, single by choice and not nature. It's hilarious. These TED Talks they just make me laugh. They invite a lot of these like single moms on there or feminists on there, and it's insane how they get on this. But whatever. That's I mean, TED Talks is just I mean, it's just a leftist woke meeting ground for giving a platform to other woke speakers. So that's why I mean yeah, I can't even imagine myself speaking there. But that's yeah, I've seen the girls on there, and uh, I don't disagree. All right, what else we got here? Okay, all right, let's go a couple more minutes or a few more minutes. Top chat. 14142. I literally have on my desktop, among other motivational quotes, a note with the phrase path and purpose. It's pretty powerful. And just greetings from Spain. Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of guys mimicking that these days too, like other dating coaches and whatnot. But yeah, I remember first saying that. I said that on my I want to say I said that on my Master of Pickup channel in 2008. I was like, yeah, you gotta have path and purpose, and then it caught on, and now everybody's using it. I should have trademarked it, but it's so important to have that. Nika for life, NCAA for life. I mean, do you have any advice for teenagers in high school? Yeah, take advantage of all of those school dances you have, all of these school functions and events. I want to say high school is probably the easiest place to hook up with girls. Just because you're all in this bubble together, and that girl has not yet been socialized yet, and she's really not that aware of her. Like if she's attractive, she's really not aware of the power she has yet. She'll become aware of that power. she'll become aware of that power the day she graduates and she starts going to college and she just starts getting out there, especially if she starts going to venues. She'll become aware really fast of how much power she has. But in high school, she doesn't know yet. She's just in this bubble, and it's so easy to meet high school girls. I remember when I was in high school, man, I did not want to miss a single dance, and I'm glad I didn't because I knew I was like it was just so easy to meet girls. And if you play sports or if you have any kind of like social cred, I mean back then it's like for my school football was big, so I made a point. We had Letterman jackets back then. I would wear my Letterman jacket or wear my jersey to dances, and that just kind of told girls like, "Oh shit, this guy's like on the team." So if you have any street cred like that at your school that you could use it. But I would definitely like get involved and go to every single one of those dances, and that's the best place to meet girls, man. It's because it's like you're all in this bubble together. But wait till that girl gets out of that bubble. Oh man. But yeah, high school is definitely the easiest. Stretch, are we at a point of no return when it comes to masculinity? Like I said, when women start taking over and you see them in all these leadership roles, that is the beginning of the end. Because no matter if they're on the left or the right, right? Because we were talking politics earlier. Doesn't matter if we're on the left or the right. Doesn't matter if these females are on left or right because they are always going to vote in their favor. They're always going to vote laws in their favor for their gender only, and it's always going to hurt men. And I think who was that one that Trump he appointed recently to the Supreme Court? I think it was like Amy. Was it? Is that her name? Amy Coney Barrett or something like that. But he appointed her, and she basically like turned on him. She was like, I don't want to say turned on him, but she wasn't being really supportive of him. So yeah, it's just things like that, man. It's things like that that you have to look out for. But can we turn the tide? I hope so. I hope so. Matt Dubia, sport bikes are the best. Cruisers are okay. Something on two wheels is great, period. Yeah, I used to ride motorcycles all the time. I love motorcycles. I need to get another one. I haven't had one for a while, but I want to get another one. And I want to shoot coaching videos on that. I want to get my girl in some of my coaching videos. It's hard, like, because I uploaded my trailer of my for my 33 channel, and it's mostly me doing cold approach on different girls and macking on different girls, and you know, just different girls I meet. But like the real like hottie girls that I actually bring in my life that I end up dating, I can't. It's harder for me to feature them on my channel or anything like that because I don't want to hurt their ability to work because of my content. I don't want to hurt their ability to, get a job or anything because they're with me, um, because of the type of material I produce, which is pretty polarizing. Media hits, QB, Matt Cross. That's right. All right. Oh, Amy Comey Barrett. Yeah, yeah. She's supposed to be a Republican, right? She's supposed to be right wing conservative, but I checked her background too. I'm like, she's a woman. She got that SJW in her. She's got that wokeness in her. What Tenant 25L? What do you think of Ben Shapiro? I like his show. I've caught it a few times. Pretty smart guy. He says he's leaving California, so yeah, I enjoy his show. I like it. He's a great debater. He's quick. He's like really fast on the debates. He could shut down SJWs like there's no tomorrow. But you know who else could do that is Owen Schroyer. If you ever watch Owen Schroyer. Canon Mathurgia, how to subscribe to? You mean how to get in a mastery without a credit card? You go through PayPal, but yeah, you can use a credit card, but it has to be through PayPal. It's just easier. because our system runs through PayPal. They handle all the billing, so we don't even touch your credit card. Okay. Uh, yeah, yeah. John Stone, I think Joe Rogan is overrated and kind of a sellout. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, yeah, Joe has some. He's pretty good, like with his podcast and everything. But sometimes he's, as much as he complains about SJWs, it's like he promotes a lot of those values at the same time. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Bubba's reviews. When is your normal sleep time? Whenever I get tired, I just go until I can't go anymore. Matt, is 2021 not 20 in your tags? My tags? What tags? Oh, shoot, you're right. My bad. Oh, I'll fix that. I know. I always did that in school too. I'd mess up the year. No, Ado, no comments on my questions about alphas. What did you ask? Bubba's reviews. Do you get 8 hours normally? I'm always up late. Yeah, I'm always up late too. I hate going to sleep. I try to get 8 hours. Sometimes I only sleep 3 hours, 4 hours, but then there's some days like once in a while I'll sleep like 12, 14. So it catches up with me. Yeah, Joe Rogan is a bit blue pill. Um, he's like red pill and blue pill at the same time. Very strange. Very strange. Okay, super chat. Let's see what we got here. I think I covered everybody. Oh yeah. Mm, oh, this is an interesting question. Ananya, what if you found out that you have cancer and that you're gonna die? Well, you should be living your life as if you do. You're gonna die, because technically we're all dying, right? We're all dying, but people aren't living their lives like they're dying. I've said this so many times. Everyone's living like they got 1,000 years, got 1,000 years to live, 1,000 years more. Yeah, I got like 10,000 years. I'll be here. I could like blow off my time and like do nothing and you know do response videos all day. Yeah, you have to live like you're like man, like it can end at any time too. You don't know, right? Even if you say you have cancer, you have 6 months to live. What if you get hit by a bus next week, right? Technically, you only have a week to live. You never know when it's going to end. I don't know when it's going to end. Why do you think I keep living it up? Why do you think I just go wherever I want? I go to Vegas, I go to Vegas. I'll stay there for a month. If I want to do something else, I'll do something else. You don't know when it's going to end. Many of all your questions, especially regarding females, can be answered watching Matt's videos. Just a tip. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Zach. Zach Nefane. Aconite. Thank you. Well said. Martin Freeman. Would you date Tommy Lauren? How old is she? How old is Tommy now? Yeah, I would date Tommy, and then I would do all those things she complained about in the video. Remember, see that video? I would do all those things because that's what works. Because she's complaining about it. She's invested in that. So I would just do all those things she's bitching about. All right, I'm seeing if there's anything else in here. But yeah, man, 2021 should be a better year. Everything should be cool, and we just got to get back to normal here. Arun Mina, nice car. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh yeah. Is texting better than cold approach? No. Right? Texting is damage control. It should be called damage control game. But yeah, if you're texting a girl, you're in damage control. Everything is done in the cold approach. This is why I like arrogantly don't leave the cold approach until I know like I've got something with a girl, because I don't want to be in damage control texting her, 5 times a day trying to get her to respond to me. So, oh my gosh, look who came out. Gizzy. Gizmo. He's like, Dad. Um, but yeah, you're in damage control if you're texting, so you don't want to do that. All right, I think I've answered all of these, but yeah, man, 2021 is gonna be a good year, guys. Um, gonna do it right, and you just got to keep living your life. Don't worry about all this like virus and stuff like that. Who's taking the vaccine? I ain't taking it. Careful about that. Right? Be careful about that. There's all sorts of allergic reactions. Even the ones they're featuring on the news, they're like totally trying to play down. Um, and there's probably even worse that they're not mentioning. But obviously, I can't really dive into it because they'll just ban this entire video. Yeah, never date a single mom. Okay, Red Pill Mike, $5 super chat. What do you, why do you think women haven't figured out that trying to push a HVM for a commitment never works out in their favor and just gets them iced? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's ego. I think a lot of it's ego. Um, yeah, a lot of it, a lot of it is just ego. I think a lot of them, especially when they get older and they think they could still compete with the 21-year-olds and like for the high value male, and like, oh, I can still get this guy, girl. I can still get him. It's like, yeah, it's sad, but no, I agree. Uh, okay, yeah, that's another red pill channel. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of these red pill channels, guys. Sorry to say. I know of other pickup artists, but I don't really watch red pill stuff. I tell you guys who I watch. I watch like Hoovie's Garage, Financial Education, Jay Leno's Garage. It's mostly like car stuff. So, all right. It looks like we are. My battery's about to die. So, hey, I want to appreciate it. I want to tell you guys I appreciate you guys coming on the channel and spending the evening with me here after shooting coaching videos. Thank you for all the super chats. Sid, last questions. Mr. Singh, how tall are you? Tall enough to play quarterback. How's that? Um, Peace out, Mike. Everybody have a safe night and have a safe weekend. And yeah, I'll probably do it again. Maybe I'll do it from Vegas this time. And uh, so yeah, be safe out there. Happy New Year, happy 2021. Let's kick some ass, get on your grind, and make sure you're subbed to my channel. Make sure you're notified whenever I do these live streams. You guys have got to remember to hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified, because all these other guys are like, no, how come I don't know when you go live? I'm like, because you didn't hit the notification bell. So make sure that you are notified as well. And yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. And have a good evening. Have a good night, whatever you guys are going to end up doing. I'm just going to keep plugging away here. And I love you guys. Brotherly love. And I will see you on the next live stream.